Hello everyone, you are watching ITV Gold and I'm your host Aditi Lamba with cameraman Rajabhati, and today's Inside Scoop, we bring you someone who's very prominent, someone who I have been looking forward to talk to all this week, and a name that everyone would connect with and resonate with. He is the Vice President for Toyota North America. He is also the General Manager for the company. He's a name that's globally recognized. He's somebody who's known as the pioneer in the global market for auto part industry. So let's welcome on the show. We have with us Mr. Jack Hollis. Thank you so much for being with us.
That's like the nicest introduction I think I've ever received. And I don't really enjoy titles very much, but I like the title of team captain. I get a chance to be the team captain for Toyota here in North America, and it's great. I'm a super fortunate man who has one of the greatest jobs in the entire industry.
You know, I have to say, you have been a part of the company for so long. 1992 is when you started, and you've been the CMO. You've seen the company go through so many changes. You've seen what Toyota has done, especially to the global market and to the South Asian market as well. You know, when you look at the auto part industry and you look at your entire journey, now that we just revealed another Highlander, what is your take on how you have progressed as a person?
Me as a person?
Yes. In this whole process.
Oh, I love that. That's a great one. So, I've been here for 27 years.
Wow.
Like you said, 1992.
Yes.
I joined the company really to be here for 1 year so I could put a really good name on my resume so I could move on to a different company.
Oh, wow.
Any company. I loved companies. I come from a sports background. I played professional baseball. I love athletics, and that's what I wanted to do. When I came into Toyota, what I loved was the culture of the company, based upon the founding fathers of Toyota.
Yeah.
And when I look at it, what I loved the most about it was the DNA of the company was about how to make society better, one person at a time.
Right.
I got here and I was with the company, and I continued to meet people, and every time the team members I got to work with were some of the most fantastic people I've ever. So when you ask me, what has it done for me? What it has done to me or has been a part of my life, is that I have been able to see people grow, these great individuals, and live out the DNA of working together to make society better. So whether we started as a company, way back when, Kiichiro Toyota, who started the company, started as a Loomworks company, then we become a Japan domestic automotive company, then a global automotive company, and now we're expanding to be a global mobility company. I like new challenges. I love new jobs. I love how many jobs I've had. I think 27 years I've had something like 13 different jobs or roles.
Right.
Every 1 or 2 years I'm getting a new job. It's allowed me to continue to be pushed, to serve other people. Right. And to continue to grow as a person. And you can't ask for more than that. I love it.
Let me ask you a question. So going from Cincinnati Reds to Toyota, and baseball is such a huge part of the American culture. It's something that you can actually find success at once you're in the field. Yeah. There's nothing that's wrong about it, and it's actually a true fact. But taking that field, being in sports, having that background, and then switching in to Toyota. This passion you have for wanting to sort of explore more and wanting to just want more of different things and sort of diversify yourself. Where did that come from?
Wow, there's so many pieces.
Sorry, I have done my research.
You have done your research.
Yes, we love Toyota.
Okay,
South Asians, even with Pari Global Media, we've had such a great relationship with you, so we really want to dig in and see what you can give us here.
Well, I'll go a couple different ways. First of all, I've always enjoyed, and I've been fortunate to have some success in team sports. The idea of a team sport is knowing your role, playing it well, and helping your teammates to develop and to be better as well. Because you can't win unless everybody's moving together. Those learnings in whether it's high school sports or college sports or professional sports, you learn the value of the teamwork. That's been easily applied directly to the automotive industry. Right. So that's one. We have to be better as a team. I've always found myself in a team captain type of role. I love being also a coach. I love helping others. I love seeing a player on my team now who maybe has been underperforming, get them to overperform. So the connection between the two is very easy.
Wow.
The second one is competition. I'm driven by competition. Aditi, if you want to compete in something, it doesn't matter what it is. I want to play it to the best of my ability. And it's not necessarily about beating you.
Okay.
It's about being the best I can be. And I think for Toyota, what we've been able to do is it's not always about beating the competition. We want to beat them, but we want to be the best that we can be.
Right.
So we're never saying, well, we have to be number one or this or that or most sales or most. What we want to be is the best we can be for every customer, and I love that in my heart. I want to be as competitive as I can be.
Right.
And so I think a lot of things I learned in sports.
Yeah.
Carries over. My dad, my father's a professional golfer.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so
my research did not go that
far.
That's okay. No,
he's a professional
did not
golfer.
know that.
But he taught me about the things about how it is about dedication and sacrifice,
right.
and how you have to work hard to be the best that you can be.
Right.
And if you can, and I think you can only control two things in your life. That's my opinion. You get to control your effort.
Right.
And you get to control your attitude.
That is so true.
And I come from a faith background, and I say the results that are, in my opinion, are God's. I can't control my outcomes, but I can control my attitude and my effort. And that's where those things all kind of work for me from sports to the business world.
Would you call it perhaps a need or a desire for always self-transforming, to just better yourself? And in that, you sort of have created this whole sphere of having a team that's doing that. It's pretty incredible because we've seen Toyota do that over the years.
Yeah.
They sort of are just always transforming. They're reaching out to markets that at times, when I moved from India in 2006, Toyota was just coming into India, right?
Yeah, right.
And now it's a symbol of luxury. It's a symbol of honor. I have had 2 Toyotas in my life, right? Camry, I call her Angel. I love my car. And I remember telling my cousins in India that I had a Camry. They were like, "Whoa, that's really cool." And I'm like, "Wow, you have a reputation in every country in a different aspect."
Yeah.
So where is that coming from? Give me a little insight into that.
I'll tell you why our reputation in every location is different.
Right.
And that is because I think the strongest strength, the best strength of Toyota is listening to every customer and every owner. And a customer, in my opinion, is somebody who hasn't quite purchased a Toyota yet, or maybe wants their first purchase.
Yeah.
And then an owner, and our owners are obviously owners. We listen very well. When we listen to a customer in India or an owner in India, we're learning what that customer wants for their marketplace. That might be different than the US, different in Australia, different in China, different in Japan.
Right.
What I love about the company is the one thing that is, or the thing that is consistent across every global location is what we call QDRS: quality, durability, reliability, and safety.
Yes.
Those 4 elements, QDRS, always show up. But the way that makes it into society, sometimes a little more flashy, sometimes a little bit more luxury, sometimes a little bit more entry level, is different. And but again, it's because we're listening to the customers of what they're asking us for their location, and we respond. And I think that's something that the company, I'm proud that Mr. Toyota, the Toyota family, has continued to make that a central focus to our company.
What is your take on the South Asian connection of Toyota to the region, and also South Asian Americans? Because I can proudly again say that a lot of South Asians here have Toyotas. And it's something that you say, if you're an Indian, even here, or if you're a South Asian here, you have to have a Toyota in your house. It's a basic thing that you do. What's your take on how this market has changed here for people in the US? And also, what does it mean for that market?
So I think, like I said before, a little bit about how we do as a company, how we listen.
Right.
The South Asian community is, from my learnings, and I've now been, like I said, 27 years in the company. I've spent about, I don't know, the last 10 years or so in and around marketing.
Wow.
and running our field organization.
It's incredible.
The best way to learn, not just from the customer, is to listen to our dealers, our Toyota dealers who are in that local marketplace. Many communities that are maybe strong South Asian Asia, maybe another community that's Hispanic, maybe it's another community. What is that community asking for? So what I have seen is that the South Asian Asia requests have been about being authentic.
Yeah.
Please be authentic.
Yes.
Don't talk to me as somebody who's different. Talk to me about somebody who's integral to your business. Talk to me authentically, and don't try to
Yes.
Don't try to market me. Don't try to sell me. Try to be, we want to buy products of people who are authentic. And for Toyota, in each of the Asian American market, Hispanic American market, and African American market, I don't know if you're aware of this, but Toyota is the #1 nameplate in each of those diverse or multicultural markets. And I think that's because of the authenticity of the company, not to be different, because culture of Hispanic might be different than Southeast Asian or
correct.
It's about listening and delivering to what that customer wants and actually speaking to them and marketing to them and communicating them in a relationship way, not a marketing way.
Right.
Marketing is one thing. Marketing can be looked at as almost overselling.
Right.
Relationship building is more authentic. That's why we don't even call our customers customers. We call them guests. And we've seen that the attraction for the Southeast Asian community is just treat me as family.
Yeah.
And there's such a strong knit family.
Correct.
That like you said, coming here, I'm sure you come from a tight knit family and your friends are. So build a relationship with all of us. Don't just market to sell me a product.
Yes. There's definitely like a respect, I believe, a lot of the ethnic communities perhaps feel towards the company and how accessible it's been to all diverse ranges of communities and people. I think it's really incredible. Quick question.
Sure.
With so much transforming in the global economy market, while also there's so many transformations happening on the research and development side, where do you sort of see now Toyota take its next step in the next coming year? Be it on electronic cars, on more energy, saving vehicles, or be it in just expanding on the idea of creating this global community. What's your comment on that?
Man, I'll tell you, I don't know how much time you have. I'm not sure how long you guys are going to be watching here, so I have a lot of answers for you.
Oh, they will be watching. I promise to you. Everyone's been looking forward to it. Well, we have our CEO in the room as well.
Exactly.
He agrees to it.
Well, it's great to be here, and thank you for the honor to be with you.
No, of course.
I think this is quite amazing. I think where we're going is this. The marketplace, we have to stop thinking of just cars or vehicles.
Okay.
I want each person to have the freedom to move, the freedom of movement. Mr. Toyota, Akio Toyota, is our current president and chairman of our company, and I love what he talks about is that we believe in the right for people to be able to move freely. Where you're going to see is it's not just electric cars.
Right.
It's not just hybrid cars. It's not fuel cell cars. It's more than cars. It's mobility devices. It's things that would allow a person who maybe has spent their life in a wheelchair to maybe have a different kind of experience in movement. It might be somebody who has been blind to have a new way to be able to move on their own, maybe even without a cane, maybe something that connects to them, that allows them to read a room and sensors.
Wow.
The technology is going to drive that. Maybe it's a person who's 90 years old, no longer can drive on their own, but how can we move them in a product? Autonomous driving, and how they're all trying to solve different questions and different problems. What I see is there's not one exact answer, and that's what gets me excited. There's multiple answers of freedom of movement. A lot of times I call Toyota the human movement company.
The human movement company.
How can I help Aditi move?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, you're a little shorter than I am.
Yes, of
You might have
course.
different needs or wants in yours.
Yes.
I might somebody who's a lot larger than me has a
Yes.
different need. Might have a younger, an
Definitely,
older. How
yeah.
can we do that? Our goal is to look at every single customer, every single owner, listen well, and answer the questions that are concerning you to allow freedom of movement to occur.
Wow.
And that's where we're going as a company. I think that will be, and Toyota will be a leader in the industry to do so.
Mr. Hollis, I have to ask you, you just sort of mentioned disability. I was reading a little bit on you. You've done a lot of work with Special Olympics.
Yeah.
There's a whole charitable work that's been done by Toyota, a lot to help people move, and people with disabilities. I would love for you to sort of share why is that such a passionate project, and sort of I understand now that mobility and having that focus is there, but Special Olympics is something that's very close to any community. I would love for you to give a comment on that.
So there's a couple of key things. First of all, as a company, we have a passion for making society better. That means society means every single person in that society.
Correct.
Not just chosen people, or not just people who have more money or less money. It's about every person, and it shouldn't be restrictive. Secondly, my heart, I love sports. and being a part of the Olympic movement, Olympic and Paralympics and Special Olympics, has all been in one bowl, one big bowl of opportunity. The Special Olympics and Paralympics holds a special place, I think, because of the fact that most individuals consider themselves able-bodied. You know, where most people are.
That's so true.
But people defined as people with disabilities. I don't necessarily know that they're disabled. In fact, I would even tell people who are watching and listening, the word I like most is they're not people with disabilities, they're super abled.
Super able.
We're abled.
Yes. And then people use the term specially able, but I like super able.
I like super able.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why. People who is defined as people with disabilities, almost always, when you meet them and get to know them, they do have super abilities. They are super able. They are using different senses, or they're in enhanced senses, and or their heart or their mind is so much stronger and bigger. And what happens is we end up classifying people into different groups, but how about abled and super abled? Well, that's kind of my heart in all of this. And my heart for the support is, how can Jack Hollis help others?
Yeah.
And if I get to be a part of that because it's Toyota, then I'm going to do that. And I'm so appreciative that the company has allowed me to be a part of global marketing officer for Olympics and Paralympics, Special Olympics, because I want to see the support for all athletes in this case, or all people, be equal. Human movement company, all humans, to enhance them. That's a passion I have, and it's just to see people being honored for who they are.
While you talk to me, I'm thinking about a friend of mine. She's actually a makeup artist. We've actually been able to work with her sometimes too. You know, she has a son, a 12-year-old, who has a lot of disabilities. Unfortunately, he's not able to move. They actually have a Toyota van, and it was so cool. You know, I saw the ramp come out, and he just goes on the wheelchair by himself, and he's comfortable.
That's right.
And you know, it's a 12-year-old boy. Of course, he doesn't want to be carried, so he is able to do that. I think it's very incredible. I really hope that Toyota continues to work on that.
I think that I can confidently tell you that Mr. Toyota and the leadership of this company is dedicated to providing mobility for all, and we need to continue to find solutions for problems that some people say are impossible. That's why we started the tagline, "Start Your Impossible." We're not saying we can answer everything. Nobody can.
That's so true.
But you can start working on things that people might think are impossible. At least getting started, you can find out how people can innovate and people come together.
That's so true.
And I think that's what's important. And it doesn't matter where you are in the world.
That's so true. And the social cause is, I think, incredible. You know, even with the South Asian population, disabilities is a word that's tabooed, you know, and giving them access is an issue, you know. We're still trying to get ramps in certain parts of the country back home. I think it's really incredible. Kind of want to bring us into this amazing launch that happened today. You know, there was an article released by the great media sponsors, Fox News, for the whole auto show, and they said, forget Lexus, this December is going to be one to remember for Toyota Highlander.
I like it.
For all the fans, because that's when all new model unveiled. And then they were like, they talk about how it was unveiled today at the New York International Auto Show. Goes on saying the 3-row Highlander is built on Toyota's latest architecture, which is shared with its top-selling RAV4 and Camry. By the way, I'm a Camry lover, always. And promises to bring a new refinement to the big SUV. So I mean, I can continue to read everybody. But you know, it's amazing. They're talking about the 2020 model. They're talking a lot about, you know, having that luxury sort of appeal, but still being Toyota. So when you unveiled it, and you know, you sort of finally had the product out, how is it feeling? And tell me everything you can tell our viewers about this amazing new car.
Well, thanks for allowing me the opportunity to talk about it. I do feel so fortunate to work for this company. I call it I work for the greatest company on earth. I got the greatest job on earth. I got the greatest dealers to work with on earth, and I got the greatest products on earth. So I feel like it doesn't get much better than that. And I say that really sincerely because getting to launch a Highlander today is a product that continues, even as it gets older, so the current generation, even as it continues to get older, it's selling more and more. People are enjoying that product. That Highlander is really made to be an on-road vehicle, okay? We have other products, all kinds of 4Runner, Tacoma, Tundra, Land Cruiser, Sequoia. Those are made really to be on-road and off-road. Really. But Highlander is this kind of refined vehicle, and to be out, this is our 4th generation Highlander. It started back in 2001, and when we started in 2001, we were really the first to move from a body-on-frame vehicle to this current frame, right? We're more of a crossover vehicle.
Yeah.
But it was at the big size of that. It was the largest size of an SUV.
Yeah.
That wasn't body on frame. And we were the first ones who really started that. And that's what started this trend. It kind of became a bit of a template for how companies would follow. And so it's kind of a honor to be the first at something and then to then see it grow into 4 generations. So that's where we were as we came into today.
Right.
And then today we got to launch here in New York City. At the New York Auto Show, we got to launch the new Highlander. Now the new Highlander is in many ways very similar in size.
Right.
So width and height are very, very similar.
Okay.
Length, we've increased the vehicle by 2.5 inches. Now you think about 2.5 inches isn't quite huge. But if you're sitting in a middle seat,
that's
like
true.
the second row,
I
and
can
you
use
move back
extra
2.5 inches, that becomes a pretty.
And I'm the person always in the middle.
2.5 inches, yeah. Well,
I can use that inch because I end up sitting halfway on the lap of somebody, the person. It happens.
Now watch this. Even in the middle seat of the second row, it actually can move also. So you have some extra.
I can move forward and backward.
You get some uniqueness there.
Wow.
But I would tell you, so the car's about the similar size, but we've been able to refine it. We listen to our owners very carefully, or we listen to guests who maybe decided they didn't want to buy it. We listen to them carefully. How do we take the request and put it in there? So we come out, we have 2 engines. We got a V6 engine, then we have our Toyota hybrid system.
Right.
Now here's what's really great. The hybrid system, we've always had it with an all-wheel drive.
It's true.
People in what we call the southern part of the U.S., the Smile States, sunshine states, they've been wanting a front-wheel drive. We've been able to add that as an option.
That's true.
So we have a front-wheel drive and an all-wheel drive.
Yes.
But not only that, get a hybrid that now is going to produce 34 miles per gallon.
Wow, yes.
That's a 17% increase over the previous one. So we're taking and listening to customers, and they're saying, well, we need more gas mileage out of this car that we use for our family.
Right.
So we provided that. They said, we want more interior fun. So we provided Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Wi-Fi Connect, Amazon Alexa.
Right.
What we're doing is we're listening well and providing it back. Gosh, I could go on and on. The interior is one of the most fun interiors. It's beautiful. The streamline across the entire dashboard has been changed to make it have more of a luxury feel. You talk about Lexus.
Yes.
One of the best things about being with Toyota and Lexus in one family is you learn from one another.
That's so true, yes.
So we can refine more of our interiors and more of our connectivity. So I can go on and on, but I would tell you is that I think what's great most of all is that our dealers, our Toyota dealers who are selling each of these products.
Right.
We're so excited today. I get to speak to so many of them afterwards. I always know when we're ready for a great vehicle is when the dealers are asking us, can't you give us to us sooner? And so that was what it is. We have new colors and we have some new accessorization to go with them. So you're going to have to check it out.
Definitely.
And, drive one.
We're going to check out. Yes. Can I drive one? I don't know.
Absolutely. DT will make sure it happens. No problem at all.
We'll make sure I'm completely comfortable in it.
Do
you think Toyota will always maintain its basic theme line of always being affordable and gas efficient and also bringing in the luxury? Do you ever see yourself ever sort of, not diverting in a negative way, but would you want to? What is your take on this? Say in the next 20 years.
No problem. I think that first of all, what our company is committed to is by 2025, we will have a alternative power source or an alternative fuel supply for every vehicle. So if we have a Highlander, we then bring out a Highlander hybrid. If we have a Camry, we have a Camry hybrid. In the future, we might have a vehicle and a vehicle electric, or a vehicle and a plug-in hybrid, or a vehicle and a next alternative fuel. And I think what happens is I see that being not only by 2025, but we want to be both fuel efficient, because I think that the issue is that's about being smart.
That's true.
Aditi, when you go to shop, usually my guess is you want to shop for something that's the best value for your dollar.
Yeah, that's true. Always. Always.
Toyota has always been, we want to give you the most we can for your money. It doesn't always mean we're the least expensive vehicle or the most expensive. Every vehicle in our lineup sits versus its competitors in a different range. Sometimes we're at the high end, sometimes we're at the lower end, sometimes we're right in the middle.
Right.
We don't try to determine that. We try to determine what is the best value for your dollar with this amount of equipment in this package of a vehicle, in this case called a Highlander.
Wow.
Do I think we're going to be there? In the next 20 years, we'll be the exact same. I think what you're going to find, though, is we're going to continue to innovate, either on our own or with other companies, to be able to add more value to what you get to experience. And that I think is important. Whether it's autonomous vehicles or electric, it doesn't matter. It matters that we give you the best experience in your traveling or in your mobility.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Mr. Jack Hollis.
This is easy.
Of course,
you let me talk about this greatest company, so this is great.
But one last question before you go, and of course, right after that, I'll ask you one more question, or I'll messages for our viewers.
Okay.
But before I even ask you, for messages for our viewers, for Parik Worldwide Media, and for ITV Gold, you've done so much in your life, and you have so much passion to do so much more. Where do you think your next about 10 years will take you in terms of finding, contentment with yourself, full satisfaction? And, where is that taking you? How are you feeling right now?
Well, I got to tell you, you open up a big window here. So first of all, I would say that for me, contentment for me comes in the fact of faith. And I get a chance to, in my next 10 years, I just see that continuing to grow in my faith and in Jesus Christ, and to be able to grow that relationship. I think because of that, secondly, it has to do with family, with my wife and my kids. I've been married for 28 years. I have 4 incredible children, 2 girls and 2 boys that are amazing. Wow. And so the contentment in my heart is to realize that I have been given a gift to be able to work in a company and be able to produce, to be able to provide for my family. Wow. I looked at being blessed, or actually I use the word beyond blessed. I looked at being beyond blessed in a life that I didn't expect. But I expect to be able to do those. Like I said before, you can control your attitude and your effort.
That's so true.
And I want to do that for my family, and I want to be a good, I want to leave a legacy for my family. So where I'm at in 10 years is hopefully building the legacy that my wife and kids will be both proud of and want to follow and grow in. And both of that's a work life and a personal life. And I'm just very grateful. I just can't believe that I've had an opportunity to both work and have a family that I have, and with an amazing wife.
You must be a great believer in gratitude and serving. Yeah. Right?
I'm a great believer.
I can see that.
I am. I'm a great believer in the fact that I don't get to earn a lot. I've been given a lot, and I work hard for whatever happens.
Right.
But the outcomes I can't control. But I can control how I work. And I hopefully give that off to others, and I want to be an encourager. I want to encourage you and each person, because I think about life is about giving to others.
Definitely. What is a message you'd like to give to all our South Asian viewers of ITV Gold and Parik Worldwide Media? And an advice perhaps. I think they would love that. There are so many young South Asian millennials who are always trying to reach a lot of media outlets. We really try to produce that connection between different age groups in the community, in the South Asian diaspora that we're in. What would you tell them? Yeah.
Well, first of all, I would tell you, buy a Toyota. So let's just start with the basic advice, buy a Toyota. No, what I would tell your readers, your listeners, your viewers is very simply this. And especially being a young person, you need to be able to realize that life isn't just about you, but it's a lot about the people that you are in. Choosing great friends and choosing great partners. And I look at our business partners. We choose great partners. We win together. And if it gets too focused on self, it's too easy to lose. It's too easy. I mean, you might win sometimes, but why not win as a group of people? Like I talk about team sports. What I would say is, working together, and how can you benefit others? And I would go at it with the greatest attitude that says, how can you encourage others to win together at the same speed? And I love that, and that's what I would say to this, and that's what Toyota is about. How can we win together globally at every one of our distributors in every single country? How can we win all at the same speed? And I think that's what I would suggest as we go forward that we should all be focused on.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Mr. Hollis.
You're welcome.
Thank you so
for your
much.
time, Aditi. Nice to see you.
Well, this was none other than Mr. Jack Hollis. Stay tuned onto ITV Gold as we bring you so much more from our community to your community. Your voices, our voices. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.